Good afternoon and welcome once again to the Polity, reaching you live from the Abuja studios of Kaftan Television. Like we've been doing for the past couple of days, we'll be starting with some numbers for you this morning. 46 days, 3 hours, 59 minutes and 54 seconds. That's how long till the next general elections come February 25th, 2023, where Nigerians will get the opportunity to vote in a new government after 8 years of President Muhammadu Buhari. It's important that we take note of this. And for those of you who have not got your PVC yet, do so now. It's still ongoing. You still have some time. And this is the best time to get it because you're more likely or less likely to encounter queues as we see when the last rush or last ditch rush that is common in Nigeria. Anyway, that's how we start the program today. We have a lot in store for you. We'll be discussing different party matters on the road to 2023. We have with us to come later from the SDP camp and also from the APM camp and also a representative from IPAC to speak on resolutions with INEC or on INEC, pardon me. Now, we'll start now with political update and the program will continue much later. Now, welcome once again. We'll start with a story on 2023 elections. With less than 2 months to the general elections, the Labour Party has accused the Independent National Electoral Commission of plans to disenfranchise a larger population of the Nigerian youths. The party hinged its claim on the January 20 deadline set by the INEC for the collection of permanent voters' cards, the PVCs. It said the time frame was totally against millions of Nigerian youths who just returned to their various universities after the prolonged strike by the Academic Staff Union of Universities. Chief Sunday Innocent Okeke, the Labour Party National Vice Chairman Southeast, made these observations. He recalled that the face-off between the federal government and the youths saw them stay at home when voters' registration was going on. He noted that the school academic system has already been injured, as it will be wise for INEC, ASU, and other relevant bodies to declare 1 week of compulsory holidays for students to go home and collect their PVCs, and the same holiday on the week of the election, so that they will be a part of the needed change. Now to Kaduna State, Senator Uba Sani, the Kaduna gubernatorial candidate of the All Progressive Congress, has promised to build on the achievements of Governor Nasir El-Rufai. Mr. Sani, who represents Kaduna Central at the National Assembly, said this on Monday at a town hall meeting in Kafanchan, Jema Council area. The APC governorship flag bearer engaged with different groups at the meeting, including traders, farmers, women, youths, religious groups, and trade unions. He said building on the achievements of Mr. El-Rufai's administration in education, healthcare, agriculture, youth and women empowerment was necessary to ensure sustained development in Kaduna. Mr. Sani said his administration would prioritize projects that have a direct bearing on the people's lives and said that his exploit at the Senate had prepared him well for governing Kaduna. Now to Benue State. The governor, Samuel Ortom, has said he is committed both physically and spiritually to ensure that PDP ruled Benue after the 2023 general election. This is even as the governor urged members of the PDP to fast and pray to dismantle evil forces that want to rule the state, saying he will work round the clock to talk to the people against the evil that is bent on mounting the state #1 seat. Addressing the PDP caucus meeting in Makurdi, the governor noted that though he was supposed to embark on a medical vacation, he has decided to jettison the idea to move around with the candidate to canvass for votes from Benue people. He said all the elected members of the PDP and the appointees under his government will follow the governorship candidate, Titus Suba, for his campaign before breaking back to their individual constituencies. Autumn said the meeting with the PDP stakeholders was aimed at drawing out the itinerary of the party's campaigns in the state for the 2023 general elections. Now, President Muhammadu Buhari has urged Adamawa State electorate to vote for the All Progressive Congress presidential candidate Asiwaju Bola Ahmed Tinubu and his running mate Kashim Shettima as president and vice president in the forthcoming elections, as well as the candidates of the party for Senate, House of Representatives, and House of Assembly seats. The president spoke at the APC presidential and governorship campaigns in Adamawa State yesterday. Buhari said the APC had a vision of making Adamawa State more peaceful, progressive, and prosperous. The president called on voters to shun sentiments and make history by electing the first female governor in the country in 2023, Senator Aisha Dahiru Ahmed Benani, saying her track record of dedication to duty and service would improve the livelihood of citizens. He told voters that Benani had consistently worked for the welfare of the state and indigents over many years, and entrusting her with the office of the governor would further strengthen her to reposition the state for greatness. Now, Governor Abdullahi Ganuje has directed that the Sani Abacha Stadium and other government facilities be made available to all political parties for electioneering for the 2023 general elections in Kano. This is contained in a statement by the Information Commissioner Muhammad Garba on Monday. He said that the ruling All Progressive Congress in Kano State believes that as citizens, the opposition elements have the right to use public property for the conduct of campaigns. It said, however, that security agencies must clear the political parties before accessing such facilities like the stadium. The Kano State government added that Mr. Ganuje's administration remained consistent in its policy of giving equal rights as a mark of its respect for democratic ideals, and expressed the hope that the parties would conduct their campaign rallies peacefully. Finally, the All Progressive Congress in Kwara State has suspended all outdoor campaign activities for the next 1 week in honor of the State House of Assembly Majority Leader Abubakar Magaji Olawoyin, who died early Monday. A statement by the state chairman of the party, Prince Sunday Fagbemi, in Ilorin on Monday said that all outdoor campaign rallies and activities for the next 7 days will be placed on hold until after the federal prayer. He pleaded that all party members and support groups adhere strictly to the rules. The majority leader died on Monday at the age of 57 after a brief illness in Ilorin. He represented Ilorin Central constituency in the House of Assembly with the ambition to go for a second term in the upcoming general election. May his soul rest in peace. And that's all we can take on political updates. We'll go on a short break. When we return, we'll be heading into the matter of the Social Democratic Party and its plans for Nigerians and the FCT in particular. Stay with us.
His Highness calls upon the various aspirants to conduct their campaigns without rancor and to conduct their affairs peacefully. And he prays that throughout this period, their conduct and the elections will be held peacefully, and the electorate will be allowed freely to determine and select those they deem will be able to serve them best. Yes, sir. Urges the supporters to conduct the campaigns peacefully, to be disciplined and orderly, and he prays that the elections will be held in such a manner that there will be no ill feeling or rancor. He prays that the visitors and distinguished aspirants who have graced the palace today will conduct their affairs peacefully and return back to their respective destinations in good health. Urges the supporters to conduct the campaigns peacefully, to be disciplined and orderly, and he prays that the elections will be held in such a manner that there will be no ill feeling or rancor. He prays that the visitors and distinguished aspirants who have graced the palace today will conduct their affairs peacefully and return back to their respective destinations in good health.
My name is Sheilo BCFR, the Black Comedian of the Federal Republic. I tell you, when it comes to the best of entertainment, the best of news, the best of information, something that is educative, you're right here at the best place to see that. It's Kaftan TV. You know what? Increase the volume. Keep watching. Don't touch the dial, okay?
It's your girl Nkechi Blessing Sunday. I want you all to keep watching Kaftan TV.
His Highness calls upon the various aspirants to conduct their campaigns without rancor and to conduct their affairs peacefully. And he prays that throughout this period, their conduct and the elections will be held peacefully, and the electorate will be allowed freely to determine and select those they deem will be able to serve them best. Urges the supporters to conduct the campaigns peacefully, to be disciplined and orderly, and he prays that the elections will be held in such a manner that there will be no ill feeling or rancor. He prays that the visitors and distinguished aspirants who have graced the palace today will conduct their affairs peacefully and return back to their respective destinations in good health.
All right, welcome back. That was a visit by the candidates in Kano State. I've been joined in the studio now by the SDP senatorial candidate for FCT, Mr. Olariwaju Osho, to speak on the party's plans for Nigerians and also his specific plans for the Federal Capital Territory. Welcome to the program.
Thank you, Amadine. It's a pleasure to be here all the time.
Happy New Year. It's good to be
here. Same to you, my brother. Happy New Year, Nigerians.
All right. Let's start with more general issues before we move to your specific plans.
Okay.
I'd like to get your assessment. It seems as though now that we're in 2023 proper, most parties are kicking into the next gear, and we can see that with the SDP. I think even today, as we speak, they have a rally or a campaign thereabouts
in
Kano State. So
yes.
I'd like your thoughts on the momentum that is coming along your party. Are you noticing anything?
Yes, we are noticing things. Actually, the work has been going on for a while, and then it's only that we are revving up the tempo, as it were. Like you said, the presidential campaign and the team were in Kano. They have actually been in Kano for about 3 or 4 days now. And you know, the presidential candidate's birthday was on Sunday. It was celebrated in Kano. So, politics is about meeting the right set of people. Although the way we do it in Nigeria is that when you see this massive mammoth crowd, you feel that, oh, that's when that party is working. I'm a disruptive politician, and I believe that in this world of disruption, that the whole world is experiencing disruption in every sphere of influence, even INEC and the National Assembly passing the electoral bill. That's disruptive. And you see that there are a lot of disruptive things in the the new electoral bill, for example, the beavers and so on and so forth. So it shows that we need to campaign in a way that we are reaching the people, not just meeting them in a crowd, reaching them in the most appropriate way that allow us to communicate our ideas, plans, and programs, to them. So if the environment, look at you saw what is happening there. So across Nigeria, SDP is gathering momentum, and then they are reaching out to the people and communicating on issues more than any other political party. I was on NT on Sunday morning, and I was talking about issue-based campaign. I don't think there's any of the parties that focuses on issue-based campaign like the SDP. And to do issue-based campaign, you don't need to be in the midst of a crowd all the time. When it is convenient to be in the middle of a crowd, you do that. But when it's also convenient to see one-on-one, neighbor to neighbor, and then town hall, such that you're able to communicate concisely, powerfully, comprehensively, that people can understand that this is what makes this party different from the other ones.
Speaking
And that's
about
what we've been doing.
Speaking about issue-based campaign, your presidential candidate does not shy away from putting the blame to those he believes are responsible for where the country is today.
Yes.
Do you think that is in any way distracting, or is just him laying down the problem?
Okay, let me give you a scenario. You know, a driver promised that, yes, this vehicle says it's moving from Lagos to Abuja, and that it will get there in 9 hours. And then for 9 hours, the driver is still in Abeokuta or Ijebode, just, you know, the next door, the neighboring state, complaining and complaining and complaining. And then you need to hire a new driver who will take over the vehicle. You need to let the people know that, look, you need to have been in your destination as at now. The reason why you are not there is that driver who got you stranded in Ijebode. And if you hire me, I will not only move you from Ijebode to Abuja, I will cover the ground that you have lost as much as possible. I will get you there safely, and the vehicle will be there also safely. You understand me? I will not get you there with a crashed or battered vehicle. Nigeria is battered and bruised because of poor leadership. And you can't be a sincere person aspiring for that office without laying the foundation of, this is where we are coming from. This was how we got to where we are. This is what I will do from here to take you to our destination. So it's not just laying the ground, it's actually hitting the nail on the head. And I wish other candidates would actually campaign like that, instead of, you know, focusing on themselves, and this one head is big, this one head is small. This we are to rescue Nigeria. That's our assignment. Every political party, every presidential candidate is serious, should focus on that problem and tell us how they will address it when they get there. And I don't think anyone is as, you know, as crystal clear as Prince Adewale Adebayo when it comes about how to address the issue of Nigeria. Look at, for example, during ASU strike, he told them, he said, look, I will give the universities more autonomy. He was looking at it and he said, look, PTA, I mean, what do you call it now, tax fund. The tax fund was created purely for the purpose of addressing these same issues. But government, politicians, professional politicians, focus their attention on the big money there, and then they turn it to a contract awarding, you know, institution, and hijack it from the people that are supposed to be managing it. Look at the issue of corruption. You know, he said that, look, I will stop corruption from the villa. And that's somebody said that, look, I know the box stops on my table. It's not passing box. You know, some people are telling us now that they have done their best for Nigeria at a time that what the essential commodities that they met at 100 naira have risen to become 500 naira. Inflation has jumped over 500%. And somebody is telling us he has done his best. You know, so if you are coming to take over such a seat, you should let Nigerians know your life is like this because of these people that you have entrusted your affairs to. And if you give me leadership, I will do this, I will do that, I will do that, to fix this, to fix that, and to fix that. And nobody is saying that, Madam Prince Adewale Adebayo. And I believe that Nigerians are hearing him. That's
fair enough. You know, one of the, will I say his main points, perhaps not the main points, one of his points, I'm talking about the presidential candidate, Adewale Adebayo, is that he's coming with a breath of fresh air.
Yes.
You know, there's a difference, because I remember asking him, who's going to make up your cabinet, and he doesn't see that experience in certain things means good experience, so to speak.
No.
So now let's talk about, you know, that breath of fresh air. Some persons believe that the parties who have not had a chance at the national level or in most situations are actually, for lack of a better word, more dangerous to give power to. And they say this because somehow the ones who have been there, they now know how to manage corruption, but that the ones coming in. Now, to buttress this, interestingly, a lot of people don't know, but pretty much, or a large number of the 18 parties or thereabouts have one issue or another in terms of within the party. Even the SDP, although I hear it has been resolved, had an issue of factionalization, and we have multiple across board. We have the ADC, the chairman, and the presidential candidates at loggerheads. We have the Action Alliance. There's splits. Even right now, we have the AAC has formed a collaboration with a faction of the PRP,
yes.
and they have another candidate going around. So people say that when smaller parties, or perhaps not the major parties, have these issues, it's an inclination or an indication that they are not very different, and at the end of the day, fresh faces will only cause more problems.
I do not agree with them. You see, there are parties and there are parties. Even in the bigger parties, the APC, the PDP. You remember there was a time in Nigeria that half of PDP moved and formed, and so it's not peculiar to new parties. So let's address that. But look at SDP. One of the only parties that there's no faction. Our house is, tight.
But there was an issue at a point.
It was addressed, cleanly addressed. And as soon as Prince Adewale Adebayo became the presidential candidate, that's the first thing he tackled. Because a house divided against itself cannot stand. And today we can proudly say that SDP is a party that is united. You don't hear scandal, you don't hear infighting, you don't hear, all this and that. So if other parties are having it right now, I want us to know that PDP and APC have had it before. So it's not even today now we have G5 in PDP that is running for president. So that has to be clear. So for anybody to try to put that to the to the doorstep of the young parties or the parties that have not held offices and see that as a sign that they are not serious, I think that's a kindergarten argument. Now, looking at also the issue of saying that they prefer people that have experience in failure, because I know someone who is now an honorable. I was a local government chairman for 6 years and did nothing. Actually did nothing. And when somebody was telling, those who are his friends, and they said, look, we knew that this guy did nothing, but we are happy that our person is there. You see, this is the problem of Nigeria. Self-interest, personal interest, at the expense of national interest. We have very few Nigerians who are passionate about Nigeria, and the interest of Nigeria is what comes first in their mind. Now, such Nigerians that are passionate about Nigerians and the interest of Nigeria comes first in their mind, if they have been running their private business before, the same attitude they will bring into government and governance, and they will do things better. But if there have been people in government or governance or political leadership for 25 years, for 30 years, and all you have seen is a trajectory of self-interest. I'm sure you saw the viral post that is going on social media of how one person was establishing SPV, so that corruption will not be linked to him and is getting money. Is that national interest? So you see, the reason why for 62 years Nigeria has not been able to, arise, stand, and then fly is because we have been led by majority men and women, not all of them, but majority men and women who are big on personal interest and empty on national interest. So if you now find people who are big on national interest coming from the private sector, is it wise to say, oh, he has not been a local government chairman before? Oh, let him go and contest first of all to be House of Assembly member in his state before he come and rule Nigeria. We are losing opportunity. Let me give you an example in sports. You remember the story of Serena and Venus Williams? Their father had never played tennis before. He was not a known tennis player. He was not a world-class tennis player. He just saw the interest that, look, these children want to fly, and I want to help them to fly. And he began to take them to, because of them, he began to do a few courses, train himself, and then started taking them to the field to go and learn. So they didn't go to formal school. Their mother became the teacher. So their mother was teaching them at home, and their father was teaching them on the field. And they excel in both. They excel in both because their hearts were in the game. The heart of their mother was in education. I want to see my children educated. I will do it myself. The heart of the father was in excelling in sports. I want to see my daughters excel in sports. I'll do it myself. They brought passion to the game. And you saw what Serena and Venus became. So we in SDP are professionals. I like to call us technoticians. Adewale Adebayo has run chains of businesses successfully. Just Google his name and you will see he has done so much in agriculture, so much in law, so much in new technology, renewable energy, and so on and so forth. Even in pharmacology and in media, and he has been successful in all. And for crying out loud, you mean that such a person will sit at the affairs of, the CNC of Nigeria and will not know what to do? And you can see that the clear indication that he knows what to do is already there. I say this to you, Amadine. Everyone has shared Adewale Adebayo's, clips, either on any of the media station with. They say, wait a minute, this is the best guy for the job. He's highly cerebral. He knows the problem, and he has hands-on, solution already. Not something that you're going to say, okay, let me set up my cabinet for 6 months and let's see whether this will work or whether that will work. And what he's saying to us simply is that if you give me this job, I'm going to recruit the best Nigerians you can find anywhere for you. And mark you, Amadine, they don't have to have been in politics before. They don't have to have been in politics before. If they have been in the United Nations, they have been in the World Bank, if they have been, EU, if they have been in ECOWAS, if they have been any of the banking companies in Nigeria, and they have excelled, for crying out loud, they are the best you can get for the country. And they have the love for the country, and they know the shame. And they only told us something. I don't know whether you have heard it before. He said he has gone to even Thailand to help white people build a whole a new island there. And they can't come to his country because they know that this country is a country of SPV, cutting deals. Every of these politicians, they will not allow any good opportunity to fly without telling you what's in it for me. Keep my own inside. There's no country that develops like that. Look at Singapore. Look at what Malaysians are doing with their country. Look at what UAE people are doing with their country. And even not far away from here, Rwanda or General Azizi in Egypt. It is the interest of the country first, and then they go straight and transform. Azizi had only been a military man. He came. Look at what he's turning Egypt to. So you don't need to have been a politician before. You need to have just run something successfully in your life. Show us a track record of how you took a small business and you made it successful. How you are being private, practice and you made it successful. How you are being public service and there's no scandal about your life, and you can see that the department and division you headed while you are there actually moved forward, and there could be testimonials. Those are the kind of people we need to run our country for us.
That's fair enough. You spoke about passion, and I can see it in you also.
Yeah.
But now let's move it. Let's start to go a little bit further down the levels from the national to sub-nationals. What's your assessment generally about SDP across board? Because it's not just the presidential candidate, you're also a candidate, the governorship candidates, the senatorial, the House of Reps. What is the plan really? Because we know that there's I think it's called down ballot votes.
Yes.
Votes that are influenced by persons such as yourself, yes, that go back to your candidate and to the party generally.
Yes.
What's the plan to really get to where you're going? And also, what's your general assessment of these other candidates? Do you feel that they have the gravitas required to hold that ticket and move the party forward?
Beautiful question, Amadine. I would say that 2023 just looks like a watershed year for SDP, because 2023 is now 30 years that our mandate, Nigerians' mandate, given to SDP's candidate, Bashir M.K. Abiola, was stolen. And it's not coincidental that in that 30 years, later, that SDP today is running with someone that Nigerians agree. The popularity contest is not what we are playing, but someone that Nigerians agree that, look, this guy is brilliant. This guy knows what he's doing. This guy is good for the job. And talk to any intellectual, they will let you know that, look, yeah, maybe he's not too popular. That's what people say, not too popular. You see, but the truth is that if you find a product that is very good and it's not very popular, and you get close to the product and you find out that, wow, this product is better than this ABCDEF that is popular that I've been using. So what do? You call your neighbor, you call your friend, you call your families and said, I've seen a new product. It's not popular, but it's good. And we are the one that will make it popular. You see, Nigerians talk as if there's a magical wand for building political parties. There's no magical wand for building political parties. What is going on for APC and PDP is because they have had access. You read something now about Otom before we started. They have had access to political power. See, for example, a political party produces a governor. Now, the governor chooses all the commissioners. That's a downline already. Now, but before the governor chooses all the commissioners, the governor chooses a chief of staff. The chief of staff chooses PA, SA, all those retinue of staff. The deputy governor chooses all these retinue of staffs. The governor himself has retinue of staffs. Then the commissioners have retinue of staffs. Then the governor chooses all the head of the ministries, parastatals, and agencies of government. You can see. So from that one governor, they now have more than 300 downlines. So these 300 downlines is what they call structure. And they use the money of Nigeria, money that should have been used for building roads, building hospital, building infrastructure. Money that, the same money that, the leader of UAE used to turn a desert country to a paradise today that has Ajman, Sharjah, Abu Dhabi, Dubai. Within our own 24 years of political experience that we have been doing now. So, but our own have used it to build structure of evil. So this structure of evil has held, people down with ignorance and poverty. So they have weaponized ignorance and poverty, so that when they come out to contest for election, they just make money to flow down through these down lines to the people. That's what they call structure. And that's why you see that structure has not produced development. Nigerians must wake up and know that, look, the only structure that produces development is the structure built by the people without financial inducement or financial benefit, inspired by the interest of the nation, to push the nation forward, to change the narrative, and to make your country join the genre and the club of developed countries that can raise their shoulder in the world. So we have put ourselves out there. Let no one say, oh, their party is not popular. Listen to the way I talk. Listen to the things I say. I mean, I think I just represent what SDP, the new SDP, represents. And the face of our brand is Adewale Adebayo. And if you look down and you listen all the way across Nigeria, you see that we are people who just want to see this country free from the powers that have tied her down for years, and then begin to soar to fulfill our destiny. So what do you need to make these people successful? Just join them. Change the narrative. Break away from the status quo and say, even if it means wasting my vote on this person, I want to waste my vote on this person, so that I will know in good conscience that I saw a good candidate, I stood by that good candidate, and I proved to Nigerians that, look, I am someone who recognizes quality when I see. And if we don't win, and their own popularity contest people win, and then you can see later, you see what we have lost. I ran 4 years ago, Amadine. Popularity contest was the reason why I lost. People went for this same popularity contest that we're doing now. They told me to my face that, look, you are the best we have ever seen, but you are not popular. And I told her, okay, fine. Join me to make me popular, and let us win and see how I will transform this FCT for you with transformative leadership that is conscious, that is humane, and that is, innovative. And they say, oh, okay, but maybe your time will come, maybe another time. For the past 4 years now, they are going through hell. Real hell. And I was telling them, I said, look, it's an insult to you that you have been in Federal Capital Territory for 42 years. 42 years. You are an indigene of this place, and you cannot attend a political meeting or a community meeting outside your domain without somebody financing your transport. It means that you have been crippled financially. You have been crippled economically. Is that life? So this is what this popular jingle party have done to us. And we have to make up our mind, look, these new people, let's try them. By the way, they said, he that is down needs fear no fall. We are already down. Our country is down. The people are down. And this is the best time to take a risk. to take a risk with new people, who you can see have their heart in the game and not running because they want to. And the buyer is not running because he wants to make money. Like Wine Embelebe, and he said, look, if I live for another 50 years, by the grace of God, I cannot suffer, and my children cannot suffer. Because he has done clean businesses across the world, and he has made honest income, not people who became billionaires in politics. When you see people who became billionaires in politics, you know that you should be very wary of them, be very afraid of them, because that means that they have mortgaged destinies of people before you, and that's how they will mortgage your destiny and if possible destiny of generations after you. But those who have done honest work and they have made honest and modest income, they are the best people to support. And these are the people that were put out in SDP, from the north to the south, from the east to the west. And I say this to you, Amadi, when I look at our candidates, I feel joyful. I feel joyful that these are people who know what they are doing. And by the grace of God, if Nigeria give us the opportunity, we will turn this country around.
We'll look forward to that. But in the meantime, you already touched on it, so let's move into that conversation now. Your plans for the FCT. You were here before, and I think we ran out of time and you didn't get to expand.
Yes.
So now I'd like you to, really start from the start of it.
Yes.
I know you have a manifesto.
Yes.
What does it really entail for the people of FCT?
What my manifesto entails for the people of FCT is that they are going to have representation in a way that it has never been seen before. And that's what, we are in FCT. So the F stands for fantastic representation. You have a senator that when you write a letter to him, to the office, you will get your response within 72 hours. I'm saying this on national television, by the grace of God, because this is what our people deserve. You don't deserve a leader that you vote into office and you have issues, you cannot reach them. You have, as I was coming to this place today now, I received a call from a community, and they had a challenge, and somebody who knows me, they just said, look, I think we just have to call this man now. And they put not even a call, sent a WhatsApp message to me, and I called back immediately. I said, sorry sir, we have a challenge. I said, what's the challenge? And I said, look, this is how to fix it, this is how to fix it. And then I called one or two people, and then the solution is going on as I'm talking to you. By the time I leave the studio, it must have been over. Now, I want to represent the people of FCT in a way that they will know that we have a representative in the National Assembly. Fantastic representation. That when you put a call to our office, your phone, someone will pick that call and we answer you and we note your complaint, and then we'll start work on it immediately. If that has been done for the past 42 years, FCT will not be where it is today. We have representatives that we don't even have opportunity to access them easily. Like me, I've been here for 25 years. I don't think I've ever shaken the hand of anybody who is my honorable or anybody who has been my senator this number of years at my level. And if you ask many people in our FCT, is that. So we are going to do that. We're going to bring representation that we bring solution to their problems. The work of a senator is broken into two: primary and secondary. Now, primary deals with the issue that takes you to the National Assembly. That's, you're talking of, for example, representation, you're talking of legislation, you're talking of oversight, and you're talking of engaging with the people. So these are the works of a senator. But, FCT is particularly unique because we do not have a governor in FCT. We have a minister. And the minister is not voted into office. The minister is appointed by the president, not even elected, appointed by the president. And then the minister does not feel that we elected him or her, and therefore we can make any demand, as it were. So they are there at the mercy of the president to do whatever the president likes. But we need someone that will listen to us as our leader. So, and because the senator is the highest elective office in FCT, so the senator must begin to have the mind that, okay, I stand like a governor for these people, to do for them what a governor should have done for them. You understand me? Even though I'm only in National Assembly to make law, so how can what other windows are available for me to be able to do this work for them? And that's where development comes in. You know, so that's why I am a developmental senator, by the grace of God. I'm focused on development in FCT. And by the grace of God, within 4 years of being the senator of FCT, you will see that there are things that were not here before that were introduced either because of the bill I passed or because of my direct engagement in doing the work. And then C, FCT. C is for community engagement. I want to be a senator that my people will see at the grassroots level twice in a year. I want to engage with people. I will set up town hall meetings in every of the 6 area councils. And in this town hall meeting, it will be no hold back. We will discuss everything that affects their welfare, affect their progress, affect their community, and I will speak with them because I am their representative, and I'll go and do the work they send me to do. Then T, FCT, is transportation. Transportation is a big issue in FCT, and it affects the people, it affects the operators. Now, you see, because of the transportation problem, Okada became a very big transportation mode of travel, in FCT, to the point that it led to the death of a lot of people, maiming a lot of people, and then government swung into action. Okay, government swung into action, phased out Okada from within the city, but there is no alternative to take care of the Okada. Even though Keke also still have limitation within the city. If not for Uber, the shame of FCT transportation system, the appalling transportation system in FCT, public transportation system, will have been alarming. Or Uber is the one saving our face, and that's. But is it everybody that can afford Uber? Because an Uber or Bolt, transport, once commute, you are talking of minimum of 1,500 naira in a country where the minimum wage is 30,000 naira. So how much can you use to put on transportation? So we need to address this issue holistically. Now, these Okada people that are driven interland, anytime they break the rule and they come to the town, they seize their vehicles, their motorcycles, crush it. We could be more innovative than that. I will bring innovation that will address these issues by the grace of God. Of course, I cannot do it alone. So I'm trusting God that the other bureaucracies that I will need to work with will be people who are willing to see a new and modern FCT that will make them proud and make them glad. And then new FCT New Deal. That's my manifesto, FCT New Deal. New N is new opportunities for the youth. You see, because we are a country that does not have statistics, the level of migration into FCT in a year, if you are able to put your hand on it, it will blow your mind. You see truckloads from Kaduna, from Borno, from down south, from everywhere, just coming to Abuja. And that's why you see that Okada business grew fast, because when they come quickly, there's no business to do. So they just can get motorcycle and start driving, and then keke. And then that's why you find out that a lot of criminalities is happening in this city, because people come in, there's no accommodation for them. In decent cities, I've gone around the whole world. You move to any city, for example, in the US, there's an agency you go to report to that I just relocated to this town. So they will give you all the training that you needed to be given, so that you can be settled properly. They will help you assess every assistance that you need, so that you can be able to settle down successfully. In Abuja, that is called a modern city, people just move in. There's no facility to welcome them or to even take data. That we have Mr. Amadin, who just moved to Abuja today, either from Bayelsa or from Port Harcourt. So it means that, you see, if something is wrong with your statistics, you don't know the number of people moving to your city. How do you know the number of houses you need to build? How do you know what to do with transportation system? How do you know the number of children they will have in the next few years to be able to prepare for schools? So Abuja is just a city just floating without leadership, without innovative leadership, without leadership that knows how to plan ahead. There's no planning ahead here. What we are just looking, what you see, you see, okay, you see new road being built. All these are the design of Muritala Mohammed, Akinola Guda, and all the people who have been building the master plan. But this generation needs to now plan this city ahead and make it a city that is worth living in for everybody that comes in. So there will be new opportunities for the youth, that will take them off crime, that will take them off unemployment, and they will help them to identify their talent and develop their talent. And we call it swap, Spot of Abuja and Skill Up Abuja. These are part of the, you know, the innovative ideas we want to bring in the area of youth. And then E, under new, is economic and social justice for the original indigenes of FCT. The original indigenes of FCT have issues that we are refusing to address. We are sweeping their issues under the carpet, and we want God to be happy with us. You know, and they try, they cry, they make a lot of noise, and nobody has done anything about it. You know, Abuja is not a city of indigenes. Abuja is a city of Nigeria. I hope you understand that. But Abuja was taken, the land was taken from indigene. Because somebody may say, oh, why are you there running for Senate? Abuja is the city of Nigerians. So that's why I'm running for Senate. But this land had people who are, some people say, oh, but they came from Kaduna, they came from Zaria, yes, they came from various places before now. For those of them who came from various places, but they still have the first right of dwelling, and their issues should not just be handled the way it is being handled now. I will do my best by the grace of God to make sure that all the issues relating to the to injustice to the indigenes are addressed. I can't do it alone, but I will work with the right people, and I believe I will make more progress under me than we have made thus far. And then W is for women empowerment. You know, touch the life of a woman, they'll touch the life of maybe a dozen of people. It will touch the husband, it will touch the children, touch the house help or cousins, and you know, so we are going to be very robust on our women empowerment issues. And this one is not just going to be buying a sewing machine for them or grinding machine to grind. We are going to, you know, have a think tank to look at how to address the issue holistically. We have ideas already, but you see, there's no one size fits it all plan. You may think that this is what this person needs, and that's actually not what the person needs. So that's why we're going to do it that way. Then D is development. New deal. Deal is development. Abuja, the first thing I want FCT people to know and Nigerians to know is that as our global capital, FCT is in competition with other capital cities. Today, nations are competing against nations, and capital cities are competing against capital cities. So you must look at the area of comparative advantage. What is FCT's comparative advantage? And that's where we are going to focus the issue of development, to make sure that some development that will increase the GDP, you understand me now, bring tourists to FCT, bring foreign direct investment to FCT, begins to happen. If we do not have the right infrastructure, you know, number one, which is security, you cannot attract the right people. So if we want to bring development, then we have to assess the issue of security. And that's one of the indicators under my development plan. It is not good that the headquarters of Navy, headquarters of Air Force, headquarters of police, headquarters of DSS, headquarters of Army, all these headquarters are here. And people just get killed by jogging in the morning. They just get killed by jogging in the morning. How can you bring people into such a city and see it develop? So we have to address all these issues as a representative of the people, by the grace of God, through engagement, and then through legislation, and then through also initiatives that can be driven within the ambit of the law. So, for example, the tourism potential of Abuja is very huge. If I've ever traveled to Brazil before, you will know that, or to Turkey, you know that the tourism potential of Abuja is very huge. But you know what? They are all lying fallow. The tourist center of FCT, sadly, is Eagle Square, Federal Secretariat, and then Lugbe ShopRite. Past Lugbe ShopRite on Sunday evening or Saturday evening, you see like 5,000 people in the garden, in the open garden there, just sitting down. So Nigerians want to do tourism, but the infrastructures are not here, and these are part of development. We can create employment through that. You know, we can put Nigeria name and Abuja name on global map through that.
Right, Mr. Ashok, please hold that thought for a moment. Let's quickly hear from one of our callers. Hello, good afternoon. You're on through the Polity. What's your name and where are you calling from?
Hello, good afternoon.
Good afternoon. Good afternoon. Welcome.
My name is Amamu Yusuf from Ali.
All right, Mr. Yusuf. Please go ahead. Where are you calling from?
I'm calling from Kaduna.
All right. Please go ahead.
And, you know, our senatorial candidate of our great party is talking the way it should be, because he said everything. I think he said everything. But what I just want to add is, now Nigerians don't need PDP or APC. Hello?
Yeah, we can hear you.
Nigerians don't need PDP or APC. We should open our eyes and look for our future. Let me give you an example. PDP ruled Nigeria for almost 16 years. There is nothing to show. Even the person that is aspiring the presidency in their party now, look at what is going on in social media now. His issues about corruption and all that. That man, under his watch, he privatized almost 140-something companies and government agencies in Nigeria, but none of them is working now. And is he the man that we need? No. And look at the other side, the APC. Look at the current situation of Nigeria now. We are in dire need of a person that will come and rescue us. That is Prince Adewale, and I am supporting him. I am with him here from Kaduna because I am watching his program in different TV and radio stations and hearing what he's saying. He is the man that Nigerians should vote for. If we want to develop this country, if we love this country, because I think we don't have any other country than Nigeria. But what is paining me always is Nigerians are celebrating criminals. The people that are supposed to be in jail, they are the ones that we are trying to vote. And I want to advise the Cabinet Council of the SDP. I talked to you some days ago, Amadine. You know, SDP here in the north, we need sensitization. And our people want to hear more about SDP, more and more, because what our people need is that sensitization. They want to hear something positive, and that is very good from the presidential candidate and other people that are with him. I'm supporting him, and I'm trying all my best for him now here in Kaduna. And I wish our senatorial candidate the best of luck. And he is saying that despite he is not an indigen of Abuja, no, you are an indigen of Abuja because you are a Nigerian, and you deserve to represent the federal capital in direct chamber. We are supporting you. By God's grace, you are going to make it.
Thank you, my
Thank
brother.
you very much.
God bless you. Thank you.
Thanks for calling, Mr. Yusuf. He's one of our callers who has always expressed his support for the SDP candidate.
Wow.
Perhaps you want to respond and then go ahead with what you were saying.
Yeah, he has said it all. He has said it all. If you look at the candidates that are on display today in most of the political parties, you can virtually put your hand and say, look at this, look at this, look at this. But we are SDP candidate, we are plain board. Can write anything on us. We are here to serve Nigerians. And look at Prince Adewale Adebayo's. He's not telling Nigerians, I'm going to do everything. He said, farewell to poverty and insecurity. Amadine, let anybody solve these two problems for Nigeria. Nigeria will fly. But all of them are telling so many things, but just farewell to poverty and insecurity. And all my program, FCT New Deal, if you bring it together, you see that it's addressing the issue of poverty. Previous governments have weaponized poverty and ignorance, and we need to undo what they have done. And it's only good leadership that can undo what they have done. And this is what we are here to offer to the people. Right. Hoping that they will be discerning enough to not play with their future.
All right. Please go ahead with your manifesto.
Okay, so I was telling you about what tourism alone can do for FCT development. So when you look at when you talk of cities, when you hear London, something comes to your mind. When you hear New York, something comes to your mind. Since FCT does not have a governor and the senatorial seat is the highest seat, somebody needs to bring us into this vision that when you talk of Abuja, something comes to your mind, and not something negative, something good that will bring joy to everybody that is a resident of FCT and that is a Nigerian. I would like to see FCT become a city that every black man in the whole world will say, I want to visit that place before I die. If possible, I want to get a land there, own a property there before I die, because this is my home. So that's the vision under development. Then he is under environment, education, and then health. There's a lot of environmental issues in FCT that nobody has taken notice of. For example, if you know the city very well and you drop under the bridge in Garki Area 1 and you trek from Garki Area 1 to post office in Area 10, you will not be able to walk because of urea. The people they just pee everywhere.
I'm so sorry to cut you short there. I just have to take this call. Then you go ahead. Good afternoon. What's your name and where are you calling from? You're onto the Polity. Please turn on the volume of your TV set. You're on. Hello. Hello. I think he's not aware that we've picked the call. So you can go ahead, please.
Okay,
for
so
environment.
Yes. So you see urea all the way to Area 10. I was talking to the drivers that stay in Area 10, post office, because I went to talk to them and they say, bring money, bring. I said, no, it's not all about money. Just look at what we are smelling here. This is where you are. You spend like 2 hours. Even when you have gone, you come back every day. This is what you are taking in. Do you know the sickness you are taking inside you because of this urea that you are breathing in every time? That's an environmental issue. Open defecation is big in FCT beyond what anybody will acknowledge to you. The other day I went to Kwali. I went to Kwali for a program. In the town hall, there was no toilet, literally speaking, because they have just packed plenty of rubbish inside the toilet. So people are just doing, pooing all over the surrounding of that town hall in Kwali. So open defecation is very big in FCT, and we have to address all these environmental issues because it affects the water body, and then it affects our health. That's why you find out that majority of people in FCT, particularly in the urban slums, they are always coming down with typhoid. This one is sick, typhoid and malaria. That one is sick, typhoid and malaria. The amount of money that FCT is losing to typhoid and malaria is big. So under health, we need to begin to look at these issues and see how to address it. And then, because majority of FCT, 75% of people in FCT, literally, between 70 to 75% of people in FCT, they live inside slums. That makes all these kind of things to breathe. It's appalling. And linking that with development, how do we now bring urban renewal to address the issue of urban slums that is very huge in FCT, huge beyond what you can think about. And later, Kuchingoro, Womba, Kanshi. Kanshi is even beautiful. But other places that you see all over FCT, there are slums developed, particularly the ones servicing the city. They can't afford big accommodation, so they just look for one little village, and the place is fledging because there's no planning. It's boomeranging, it's burgeoning on a daily basis. So we need to begin to address that. And the issue of education.
So sorry to hold on there, so that you move on to the next one after this caller. Hello, Adazan. Good afternoon, Adazan. It's been a while. Welcome to the Polity.
Thank you very much.
Please go ahead.
Where's it coming from?
Adazan, hello. Yeah. Please, can you tell us where are you calling from, please?
I'm calling from Jos.
All right. Yes. Go ahead, please.
Okay. Good afternoon, Mr. Shaw.
Good afternoon, sir.
Thank you. You see, we are in a great problem. Facing this election. Thank you.
Thank you, sir.
You can
Thank you, sir. God bless you, sir.
Thank you for calling. Thank you. I think that's an interesting concern of Nigerians. Why don't you come together?
Yeah, a lot of Nigerians share that concern. Actually, coming together is a process. I think the process has started already. The process has started already. When you started, you began to talk of some of the alliances that people are forming already. The coming together has produced, whether you like it or not, before it was APC and PDP versus all others. But today now, we can't say that we're a two-party country anymore. So there are bigger parties that today they talk about best five, best 3, best 4, best 5. So the coming together has started. It's a process. It will continue, and by the grace of God, I know that before the election, by the grace of God, there will be more coming together of minds to help the good candidates do well and rescue our country. So thank you, Elder Zion, for your concern.
All right, so we're moving on to the next.
Okay, so education, for example, in 2022, 2023 Nigeria, we should actually have public school systems that are models, that can compete very well with private school. And in FCT, we got it right before, but then we began to, when you change the operators, when you change people that are at the helms of affairs, some people prepare themselves for some position, some people, God gave it to them, they don't know what to do with it. So I think we need to address the issue of education in FCT to the point that there will no longer be out of school children in the Federal Capital Territory. This territory should be a model for Nigeria. The minister and myself should be able to go on national television and say, because of our partnership together, we have been able to reduce out of school children in FCT to 0. And we have moved the quality of our schools from this particular level to that particular level. And I want you to know, Amadine, that this happens by, number one, envisioning. So I'm envisioning an FCT where public education is top-notch. And we can find various innovative ways to address that. And the beautiful thing is that FCT has the carcass already. If you go around the FCT, you see the carcass already. There are schools, but no interlock in the compound. The classrooms have no chalkboards, and just a few things that needed to be put there. Nobody's looking at them because of the way the villages are, far in, all over the place. The other day, while I was campaigning to Yenche, I saw 2 girls who go all the way to Gwargwada to go and do to school. They are covering, and he was there with me. They cover like 5 kilometers to go and 5 kilometers to come because they love education. And there are several issues like this all around the city. So we are looking at how to look into the villages and see, okay, what innovation do we bring to bring this, to make a school touch 3 or 4 communities in a way that the children don't have to be trekking 5 kilometers. So find a way of, carrying the students and taking them back and giving them, qualitative education at very minimal cost. So we are looking at that by the grace of God, and that's what E in the deal stand for. And then the A in the deal is agricultural revolution. Look at a country like Netherlands. Netherlands is just a small country, but gets like over $100 billion annual gross domestic product from agriculture, because somebody is tilling the farm, somebody is tilling the ground, somebody is saying, look, this is our comparative advantage in agriculture, let's go for it. Now, we have vast land in FCT, 8,000 square kilometer, and over 6,000 square kilometer are still virgin that we can move into from Gwagwalada all the way through Kwali to Abaji. You see vast land, and then you get to Kuje, you see massive land. We need to turn this, and I've done a little research, and I found out that even in ordinary Maraba near Takusharade, and that's Takushara area, you see beans growing in large quantity. So we can focus on that and then do value chain around something like that. And then, from Ibwa, Ikwa, Gwagwalada, you see yams, beautiful yams. We can do something about that. Then you see cashew trees all over FCT, only to be cut down when we are going to build a new estate. For Christ out loud, that's money that we are wasting. So I'm going to lead FCT into envisioning, a robust agricultural revolution that will create over 500,000 jobs in 4 years. You know, and we're already even having partners. That's the beautiful part of it. We're already having people who are saying, look, we heard this is what you want to do. We'd like to work with you in this area. And nobody had thought that a senator can do that before. Now then finally, L is leadership. You know, everything rises and falls with leadership. That's why you see that when a football team is not performing well, what does the management do? They sack the coach, you know, and so on and so forth. And if you can also hire a good man like me through your votes, by voting for me and for our other candidates, we can be able to hit the ground running and do this work for our people. Let somebody not say that, oh, but you want to touch so many things. These so many things are the problems of people that I want to represent. I will be a wicked leader to say, okay, you have sent me to the National Assembly to go and make law for you. Continue to suffer in that area. Is not my area. This is not my area. That one does not concern me. That's a leadership that is weak and that is not passionate, and that is not compassionate. I'm not a weak leader. I'm passionate and compassionate, and I should be interested in the things that are burning and biting my constituents, and then together we can be able to at least put pressure on people.
Do you think you might spread yourself too thin?
That's what a leader exists to do. That's why you see that anybody that goes to leadership that is genuine. Remember Fashola when he was governor of Lagos State? He went in with his hair black, he came out with his hair white. Yeah, a leader must spread himself thin so that the people can spread themselves fat. Not that a leader becomes fat and the people become thin. And that's what we have been seeing in Nigeria. Leaders who build themselves fat while their people become thin. It will be good to spread thin for the people so that they can be fat. And that's leaving a legacy.
That's fair enough. I know we've actually kept you longer than you said we'll be here. And
it's a pleasure to be here to talk to our people.
But I still I want to get your response to something very quickly. This is we went out to the centers where PVCs are being collected. So I'd like to hear or get your response to what Nigerians are saying out there and as they prepare for elections and so on. So let's just quickly take a report on the IPAC and backing the INEC chairman. And after that, we'll take a look at what Nigerians, especially Abuja residents, are saying about the election, collecting their PVCs, and their plans for February 2023 and beyond. We'll be right back.
Accordingly, the entire political chairman, under the umbrella of Inter-Party Advisory Council, reaffirms its confidence in the Independent National Electoral Commission led by Professor Mahmoud Yakub to conduct the 2023 general elections. IPAC is satisfied with the preparations, arrangements, and measures taken so far by the Commission to conduct free, fair, credible, and transparent, inclusive, peaceful, and generally acceptable elections, particularly its decision to deploy the bimodal voters registration system, BVAS, and voters using the voters' fingerprint. IPAC commends the judiciary for upholding the law, the rule of law, as a temple of justice and beacon of hope for the aggrieved people, and we want the status quo to remain. The judiciary should remain steadfast, decisive, firm, unwavering in the discharge of its constitutional duties as the last hope of the common man. We are deeply concerned about the level of insecurity in the country, spreading in most part of the states, where the governors are using sponsored touts to stop and destroy campaign materials and the party offices of the opposition political parties. All parties signed a peace accord to abide by the code of conduct for a peaceful conduct of campaign during the election. So far, the peace accord signed by the parties appear not to be effective because nobody is calling the actors to order. Therefore, the council urges security agents to be proactive and ensure adequate protection of lives and properties before, during, and after the general elections. Accordingly, the entire political chairman, under the umbrella of Inter-Party.
It was just as fast as anything. I came here like 10 minutes ago and I'm leaving now. So it's easy. It's not as stressful as I thought because I actually dedicated today to get mine. And for me to be shocked, I'm leaving here in less than 10 minutes. Yeah.
It hasn't been fair. It hasn't been, my experience has been quite not that good because from the time I did registration around, that should be April. So I was told the card will be ready in 4 months' time. Then that 4 months should be around August. So I came on August. I was told it's not yet ready. I should come to next month. That's September. And throughout that time, all the months they asked me to come, I've been coming for this particular PVC till today. As a matter of I went at their office. That was last month. That's December. I was told it will be ready this January, and I'm here today. They're not telling me it will be ready in 2 weeks. So I'm not quite happy about that. But I'm still positive. Hopefully it will be ready.
The process is very easy. I'm surprised myself. I thought it was going to be more difficult than it was.
In Nigerian times, I would like to use it. Siriri Werere. I don't know if you understand what, as easy as you can think. Just walk up to any of the polling units and submit your slips, and that'll be it. You just get your PVC. It's as easy as that.
From where I got mine from, the process has been very, very easy. It was a very small community in Apple there. That's where I collected mine. And collecting it now, it has been coming to my ward here at City Center, right? It has been very easy. As you can see, just only a few people at my rear.
I think they should make it more easier for people in the rural area to access elections without too much stress. Because I feel here in the city center, it is pretty much easier to get to, do your voting than it is for the people in the rural area. I think they should make it easy for them too, just like how it is here.
Right, there you have it. Those are replies or response from some persons who've gone to collect their PVCs. We got varying responses there, and perhaps I'll touch more on what they had to say about the election some other time. But I'd like to get your thoughts as an interested party, not just an interested party, an actor in this election cycle. What's the level of confidence you have in the electoral umpire and the fairness that you expect to see?
Yeah.
And also the process.
If there are good laws, and the people that are supposed to implement the laws are people who have a sense of purpose and a sense of history, that one day history will remember them for something, then you see progress. I think what INEC is doing now is because of an enabling law, the new electoral act that makes it possible for them to do it. And then Professor Yakubu Mahmoud knows that this is last tenure as INEC, and that his predecessor left himself larger than life image in the heart of a lot of Nigerians, and history is beckoning on him to also leave himself a good record in the heart of Nigerians. And so far, I think they are trying, and INEC is not God, and there are also things that INEC cannot have control over. INEC does not control the economy of Nigeria. If we have been a country for 62 years and we do not have, we cannot, our passport is produced abroad. If our international passport is produced in Malaysia. So you do not expect us to be able to print voters card in Nigeria. And if you do not print voters card in Nigeria, then you are the mercy of those who are doing it for you, the contractors that are doing it for you. So I'm looking forward to a good government in the next 4 years that will ensure that the passport of Nigeria will be printed at home. The voters card will be printed at home. National ID card will not have adverts of another company on top of it. So these are issues for another day. All these things are indicators of the fact that we have not developed as a country. And then, because if we have developed, and then we can say, okay, we have 10 companies that can produce voters card in Nigeria. So you give the contract to 10 vendors who do not need to ship it to Nigeria or hire a cargo to bring to Nigeria. They just produce it there, and they can enter the next train and it lands in Abuja. So, and then the security aspect of the work, INEC cannot control security. INEC is not in charge of security. The onus is on our president and commander-in-chief, if you want the election to hold, to call his men to orders, and General Leo Irabo and co, to make sure that all the burning of INEC stations in the east and all the kidnapping and the terrorism actually stop, so that people can feel safe. Until you feel safe, you may just want to exercise yourself from some of the things that you're supposed to do so that people can feel safe to vote and come out to vote. I will give kudos to INEC for what they have done. I wrote an open letter to INEC management and their staff a few days ago, advising them to copy the example of how United States Embassy is clearing the backlog of thousands of visa applicants that was occasioned by COVID. And with little innovation, we can do all these things. I look forward to Nigeria where we will not be collecting voters' card under the tree. This is a shame. And most of the polling units are under the tree. So this is not because of INEC. It's because we actually don't have facility to be able to, to do this. For example, we can be collecting this in the vehicle license office. You understand me now? If you have vehicle license office, driver license office across the whole of FCT, they can go there, sit down as if they came to bank, collect it easily and go. But we have not built infrastructure. Our leaders have not led us well, and INEC is also suffering it. We look forward to, the government of Prince Adewale Adebayo in 2023, after the elections, that will help us to fix things like this.
All right.
And give our people a sense of worth and value.
That's fair enough.
Like that gentleman that has been coming since August. They can't be happy with this system.
That's fair enough. Now, let's just end it on this note. If you recall, during our political update, we spoke about the Labour Party raising alarm that some persons will be disenfranchised,
yes,
specifically students.
Yes.
I'd like to get your thoughts on how you think this works, because the goal is to encourage more younger people. So do you think this would affect them? And do you think the solution or the proposed solution would even work? Take, for instance, there's a 1 week sort of break, or so students can collect their PVCs.
Yeah.
If you factor in the transportation costs, assuming a student has to leave their school,
and travel,
go home, and then go back, is that something that can even be done?
I think, Amadi, I think we are all guilty, and we should blame ourselves for being guilty. Now, let's put the first guilt at the doorsteps of the political parties. The political parties have not developed democracy in Nigeria, particularly the big ones. They have actually stifled democracy because they want to put it in their pockets and make it to be for themselves. So because of that, they didn't develop it. And because they didn't develop it, we as citizens, we give up very easily. We are not interested. We just say, okay, take over, do whatever you want to do. And we are okay. And because of that, we never registered to vote. Now, it is suddenly that when the euphoria of, we need change, we need a new Nigeria, that euphoria now brought out a surge. And we were not prepared for the surge. I've been affected personally. You see, my daughter was on the long vacation in May, June last year. And she began to register for the INEC because she's about 20. She was registering for registering to vote for the first time online. She did everything online until when she would click the place where she would go and do the capturing. And for 1 week, she couldn't get a date. She continued again, another week, she couldn't get a date. And then school resumed, and she went to school. And before she came back, the thing has closed. Her junior brother turned 18. Before they came back, the thing has closed. The young boy is 18 before election. Now he'll be 18 and a half after at the time of election. He couldn't vote. And we have so many children like this in all our families. So, but what we should do is just let's keep managing this system like this till the day of the election. Let INEC not do anything that can make anybody to point accusing figure that we can see you are trying to frustrate these new voters from voting. Let them think out of the box. Whatever they can do, let them do it. But going forward, let's have a robust system that, assuming that Amadi has a daughter that is called Janice, that when Janice turned 18, that INEC will be the first organization to congratulate INEC. Janice, happy birthday, you are now 18. We're excited to welcome you to the voting age. Come to our office and get your voter's card. So if we have had a system that does this across Nigeria, all this Ulabalu will not be happening. So let's innovate. And I'm speaking to everyone who may be listening to me, who is privileged to be the head of an agency of government. You are there on trust for all of us. Stop being self-centered. Do things that move this country forward so that your children and your grandchildren will say, thank you, Daddy, thank you, Mommy, for what you did. We have a lot of self-centered public servants in Nigeria, and that's why we're not moving forward.
Thank you very much, Mr. Osho. Your last suggestion, I'm quite taken with it, and I really hope that we get to see that. We get birthday wishes from banks, from everyone.
I mean, from banks. Why not from my neck?
A very good idea. Yeah. So we'll end this now with a call, and then we'll see you next time. Good afternoon. You are the last caller for the day. Please make your contributions quickly.
Good afternoon. My name is Haruna David.
From
Kaduna State.
All right, go ahead.
Yeah, please, I want to still make a contribution or say something about most of the students that are in school. You see that you end up seeing that most of the students that are in school, they hardly vote because maybe some of them will even do the registration maybe when they are at home. And in that period, they will not even have time to go back and cast their vote. So it's really affecting most of the students in Nigeria because some of them end up staying in the school during that election period. They will not even have enough time to go and cast their vote. And this time around, the truth is that we need somebody that will, like, he said something about agriculture. Yes, we have the vast land in this country, not even in Abuja. And we need somebody because when you look at the agricultural sector, in fact, that sector, they are not even doing anything in that sector. So we need somebody that will revamp that sector. Because a country cannot move forward without food security in the country.
Right,
so that's my own contribution. They should look for the way that before the election, the student will have time. Those that did their registration, that maybe in where they are staying, they can go back home and do cast their vote.
All right. Thank you very much, Mr. Aruna.
And can I make an appeal?
Yes, but you just have about 20 seconds to do so.
I want to make an appeal. It's an aberration that in Nigeria, the youth corps that INEC uses for election cannot vote. The military people cannot vote, police cannot vote, and journalists cannot vote. That's very bad. These are Nigerians, and they have a right to also contribute, their quota towards electing their president. In every other country, even US goes to all the embassies across the world for their marine to vote, for their staff to vote, and their citizens to vote. Even Nigerian Americans, they go to American embassy in Abuja here and in Lagos to vote during election, and it goes to US and it counts. So with this disenfranchising of the military, the police, the youth corps that are working for INEC, and the journalists should stop.
Right. Thank you very much.
There are a large chunk of Nigerians too.
Thank you very much, Mr. Alariwa.
It's a pleasure. Thank you.
We've learned a lot, and it's good to hear you break down the issues and also speak about the SDP. We wish you the best of luck.
Thank you so much, Amadi.
All right, that's all we can take on this segment and on this episode of the Polity. Do join us tomorrow and the rest of the weekday for more discussions on politics and governance. Have a nice day. I am Amadi Nubari.